Have you considered when should you start saving if you want to retire to be a millionaire? It's a common question that gets asked to me by my clients, and sometimes my clients for their children. I'm sure we are all aware of the concept of compound interest. And if you think about the two forces of compound interest or how it can be applied, here's an interesting perspective. Think about a credit card and the fact that a credit card charges you roughly between 2.5% to 3% per month, or about 30 to 36% per annum. If you owe debt to a credit card company and you are paying about 30% per annum, this debt can be crippling. Consider the reverse of that. Let's assume that you were the person that was on the receiving end of this 3% per month or 36% per annum. Now this would be a massive return for you year on year, and this is basically compounded interest. Compounded interest can work in your favor if this is assets or money that's making money for you, and it could absolutely work to your detriment if it is debt that is being charged that kind of a return or that kind of an interest rate. Similarly, if you consider your savings portfolio growing at compounded returns or a compounded rate of interest, this could grow to exponential amounts over the course of your accumulation phase. In the long run, however, the ultimate goal behind saving your money is to attain some form of financial freedom, where the amount of money that you've put aside, invested over the course of the last 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years is in a position to replace entirely what you get paid as a source of income from your current job or profession. The ideal goal over here is for your money to work for you and make more money from it. A more simple way of doing this would be to set up a certificate of deposit or a fixed deposit where you put a lump sum of money into a bank over a period of the next 3 years, 5 years, or a fixed term. Essentially what happens over there is you earn an interest, and let's assume you draw out that interest and let the principal keep earning an interest, then this would be essentially simple interest. It's not a bad form of return. However, consider that that interest you earned in year one went back into your certificate of deposit or your fixed deposit. Now you're earning interest on interest, and this would be compounded interest. In the long run, this kind of a strategy tends to take on the effect of a snowball. And this could be huge for you because as the years go by, that interest on interest means your principal or your initial corpus keeps getting larger and larger. A slight fluctuation in the interest rates in your favor could mean that your entire returns on this portfolio could be huge. A biography that you might want to consider reading over here is Warren Buffett's The Snowball. So the question then is, when should I start saving? The answer really is yesterday, or as soon as possible. Ideally, from your first paycheck, if you can put aside a portion of money on a regular basis, over an extended period of time, it can snowball into a really large amount. So let me address this question again. When should I start saving if I want to retire a millionaire? Assuming your first paycheck was at the age of 20 and you were able to put aside $300 a month for the next 40 years at an assumed growth rate of just 6% per annum, you would now be able to retire with $1 million in your account. With investing, the sooner you start, the better it is, provided you've built a strong foundation from where to build up from. That strong foundation needs to be built using a few tips and tools that I can recommend doing. For one, ensure that any high interest rate debts are settled first. In an environment where you're trying to get a growth rate of 5 or 6 or 7% per annum, however, you're paying the bank about 30% per annum as interest rates on debt, will not work in your favor. So consider letting go of any debt and tackle them as the most expensive debt first and work your way down to the debt that's cheapest. The second thing to consider is to build a strong base or a foundation, and that comes from setting up an emergency fund. A portion of that money needs to be utilized in the event you lose your job or unable to pay your bills from your income in the short term. Setting up this kind of a foundation sets you up for success and ensures that you do not dip into your savings over the course of time. Once you have built that strong foundation or base, start investing your money as soon as you possibly can. There is a line which is very commonly used in the investment world, and that is, it is not about timing the market, but it is about time in the market. The longer you spend in the market, the greater your possibility of a better rate of return. Lastly, what I'll suggest is, unless you have a clear idea about investing, find yourself a right financial advisor and do some homework and research and ensure that you're investing in the right forms of investment which are in line with your appetite for risk.